Paulo, everyone, thank you very much. I'm a food tech entrepreneur. I started my first food tech company in 1997. And I would actually try to be very specific on answering the question, is innovation still relevant in this moment in time? Because I asked myself this question back in 1997, and I thought that actually something was wrong. And when you're an entrepreneur, and some of you today here are entrepreneurs, one of the things you want to look at is how to fix what is wrong. And I don't know if you've been reading in the last weeks, Y Combinator, that is one of the most successful historic innovation engines in the world, are just closing down. So I asked my question in 1997 and said, what is wrong with the food system? And the first thing that is wrong is that there is no transparency. People are eating stuff that they have no clue what is inside. So I said, I want to kill the black box. I want to make transparency in global supply chains the reason of my changing the system. So we started thinking about how we could do that. And of course, the first thing you look at in the food system is who are the winners and why are there winners? So when you look at back in 1885, Mr. Gentleman called Henri Nestlé started Nestlé to solve a problem. And he solved the problem in a way that actually children did not die because he invented a powder-based food and nutritional product that could substitute the mother's milk from mothers that could not breastfeed their children. So actually in 1885, we actually innovated. The problem with that was that in the 1910, 20, 30s, these inventions were taken over when the founder died by big multinational brands that are creating billion-dollar brands. The biggest problem in the last 100 years are billion-dollar brands because we trust brands. And the thing is that over more than 100 years, to build the 100 biggest food companies in the world have taken them these 100 years, but are producing less than 20% of the world's food. So these 20% of the world's food is actually taking 80% of the value because the consumers trust in the brand, not because they are aware of what they are actually eating. So what is the rest then is the producers of the 80% of the world's food are 500 million farmers for small, medium enterprises. So I decided to focus on the small, medium enterprises and not on the big ones. So over the last 25 years, as we call ourselves today a startup with 25 years of history, we have actually been scoping disruptive innovation to help small, medium enterprises act like multinational companies and actually take the fair part of the value, starting with the farmers, the small, medium enterprises, the startup, the scale-ups. So after building our first factory in Spain in 2004, we said this is not the way to produce. So we started with a disruptive idea that was so stupid as an old word that calls decentralization. So because nobody believed in decentralization and the multinationals were having big factories like Nespresso in Switzerland, taking coffee from all over the world and bringing it to Switzerland, we said this is not the way forward. So we started building a portable powder blending, packaging and quality control factory that can be localized anywhere in the world in less than 6 months. In 2011, we deployed the first hub in India, and the wow moment was that the same recipe we were supplying to a customer in the Middle East in India, doing exactly the same with the same food security, the same food safety, the same everything, decreased the price by 30%. So decreasing price by 30% just by optimizing localization was, hey, if we can do that once, we can do that in all the recipes in the world and with all the ingredients in the world. So I said, let's build the Airbnb of the food industry. I knew it was not going to be easy and it was taking time. So we started deploying. I said, what is the other side of the world? Let's go to Mexico. So we built the next hub in Mexico and we started from scratch over there. And actually we started with 1 customer, 2 customers, 1 recipe, 2 recipes, 2 ingredients, 3 ingredients, 4 ingredients, 5 ingredients, some old ingredients, other new ingredients. And suddenly we were building a business model around not only multi-localized food production hubs, we actually started digitizing input of the ingredients and we digitized output of the final blend. So we actually make 1 step further in our purpose of creating transparency in global supply chains. And over the last year, we have been building 7 hubs on 4 continents. And now for the first time, we are actually opening up for third-party participation. Everything that I told you about I've been innovating with my own money. I spent more than $50 million from my own pocket and from recurrent revenues building back into this business model. And today, we are proud of actually, on our booth, if you want to come and see us, we are hosting not only 5 startup scale-ups on our booth, we call our booth a 360 degrees. So we are not only focusing on recipes and ingredients, we are focusing on people and organizations who are sharing values that are willing to create transparently shared value as the new innovation engine in the world. So I incentivize every one of you because that will become a global movement. And we were just the starters of the movement, and as Andy was just saying, we are actually today scaling into many other organizations like EIT Food. So for me, it's a big pleasure to actually be here and be able to share that with all of you. Thank you very much.